It expired in 20. So,
Because we just did it in 23. It took you out February of 23. And I said I wanted to.
midnight and 12:31, 23.
So if you go, I remember the meeting, I wanted to make it at least a 3-year to get a commitment. And she said, no, she wanted to do it 2-year. So I'm thinking that was a typo because it should have expired 12/31 of 2025.
I do remember that too.
She wanted a 2-year just in case.
All right, well, this 25, she's
It-
comfortable with it being an automatic
Right,
renewal.
right.
But then let's, everybody take this and we go through it. If you see any other boo-boos on it, we can bring it back. And
Yeah.
let you know.
Yeah.
So it's possible that was a
Yeah, because
typo?
I remember I said, well, I want, if we're gonna do this and lease it out again, I want a commitment, like a 3-year,
Yeah.
minimum 3-year.
Okay.
And she said, well, I'd be comfortable doing a 2. And we voted and said yes, so it was 2-year, so it would have expired on December 2025. It wasn't
Okay.
quite 2, it wasn't quite 3,
Yeah.
2 full years.
Okay,
So I think that was a typo, but
okay. It was signed with the 23 in it.
I know.
Good, it's hard to find these.
If you're bucking for the door, you're gonna do worse
I
than
know.
that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
You have no idea how hard good help really is.
They can't even find people to throw mailboxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it actually rides into my car, so it might be frozen. I know.
That's the problem. The part-time turns to full-time because you're always leaving people.
Yeah, but even at part-time, where you qualify for insurance, cheap insurance. I mean, it could be worse. Eagle
Yeah.
River didn't get an Amazon truck Sunday, they didn't get an Amazon truck yesterday. Today, all 3 trucks showed up. They got 1,900 packages in Eagle River today.
Thank you.
Microphone's on. Computers on. Tick, 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 tick. Tick, tock, tick, tock.
I'm going off of this.
Oh, that one? Yeah, me too.
Did this make sense to you?
What? Yeah, we'll get into it. So Rich Janikowski and Don Meter wants to represent the planning commission, so that means they only get 1. Okay, 5:30. We'll call the Three Lakes Town Board of Supervisors regular meeting for December 2nd to order at 5:30. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I please get a report on the agenda posting?
Yes, the Three Lakes Town Board of Supervisors regular meeting agenda for December 2nd, 2025 was posted in accordance with Wisconsin open meeting law.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda in any order.
Motion Baltus, second Bowen. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I believe that was 5-0. Announcements, welcome everybody. Once again, a reminder, there are openings on both the Park and Plan Commission. So if anybody's interested in either one of those, Jason is here from the Park Commission, and you could reach out to Alex Hageman for the Plan Commission. Also, registration is now open for campaign statement and nomination papers for nonpartisan office for the April 2026 election.
Who's up for that?
That would be Mr.
I am
Cottingham
Bella
and
and
Ms. Baltus. All right, review and approval of minutes from November 18th regular meeting. Normally, we'd be hearing from Matt, but he wasn't there, so somebody else take over.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular regular meeting of November 18th minutes.
Motion Cottingham,
Second.
second Baltus. Discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approval?
Aye.
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 4-0.
Abstain.
Reports and presentations, the A, Pitlick and Wick pay request. This was for the Three Eagle Trail. I will make a motion that we accept the pay application for $472,289.90 as submitted from Pitlick and Wick for the Three Eagle Trail Foundation.
Second.
Second, Olkowski, discussion.
And those funds, they're not really paid by us.
It's a
Just funnel
pass-through.
We're a
service.
pass-through.
It's a
Yeah.
pass-through, correct?
I just want to make sure everybody realized that.
Yep.
More discussion? Not all in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Discuss tasking plan commission with bringing back economic development ad hoc subcommittee that was disbanded in 2013. Discuss. Ideas, anyone?
As soon as I saw that, and this is gonna sound rough, I'll try not to make it sound rough, I'm just like, oh, because subcommittees struggle, it seems. And I don't mean that rudely or degrading to any of them. For lack of a better term, we as a town board are on the top of the ladder. And I have learned over the years being involved with the town, the more rungs you go down the ladder, it just seems harder and harder to have a productive committee or commission or whatever you want to call it. Again, that's no slam to work done by anybody. It just seems to be the reality. So I don't think the idea myself is necessarily all bad. I just worry that a subcommittee under the plan commission may struggle to be very productive, or we may struggle to find a productive group of members. Now, on the contrary, I'm thinking of one subcommittee or committee in the town that I think has been very productive. But everyone has their own opinion. But that was just one thing that came to mind right away that when I saw this on the agenda.
My thought on it is we're having trouble filling an opening on the plan commission itself.
Right.
To even start with a subcommittee would be, let's fill the plan commission first.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I feel like if we found passionate individuals that really wanted
Mhm.
to be on this, I'd be all for it. But I think with a committee like that, kind of with what Matt was saying, they need to feel really passionate about the economic development in Three Lakes. Because if you get people that are just kind of doing it to do it, nothing's going to come of it.
Correct.
It has to be people that really want it.
And the build off of what Ella's saying and what I was saying, because if they aren't, and this is just my own observations over the years, it just seems like then half the time you don't have a quorum for a meeting. You don't. It's just very unproductive.
Mhm.
Not every time, but often. So
Did you have your hand up?
Nope.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm not against it
Me
by
neither.
any means.
Right.
Me
I
neither.
just think that we need the right individuals to do it if we're
Mhm.
going to do it.
I was talking with the chairman, and he said that he can't even get a quorum to hold a meeting for the plan commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have an opening again.
Well, it's
So,
more than that.
yeah,
Someone's sick, someone has an obligation. Yeah.
I think I was, I find merit in everything that you guys said. I think picking up on what you said, Matt, if we were going to have any committee or subcommittee or ad hoc or whatever, it needs to be focused
right.
and once and be given parameters that are specific. And once their work is complete, then they'd be disbanded rather than to run wild. And put in a lot of work that wasn't necessarily requested or necessary, only because when people volunteer, they typically are really passionate. They want to help their community and they're excited to be able to help. But when they put their time and effort and energy and excitement to work and it doesn't come to fruition, they kind of feel like they get a kick in the teeth and then they don't want to be involved. You know, and we
Yeah.
don't want
Mhm.
that to happen.
True.
Anything that anyone could do to help Three Lakes, and everyone's definition of help is different, but anything that anyone could do would be helpful. I don't know anyone who wouldn't agree with that. But we have to be realistic at the same time with what we as a local government can and can't do. It's important to dream big, but we don't have an industrial park. We don't have land. We don't have control over the private sector or private property owners with what they may or may not do with their property, et cetera, et cetera. I know I talk to a lot of people, a lot of really successful people on a daily basis, clients of mine. And, there's a lot of reasons why there aren't a lot more businesses, not only in this town, but in any town. And then I guess, you can ask yourself, well, what is economic development? That depends on your own interpretation or what you want it to mean. I mean, I think one aspect of economic development that no one really seems to be talking about, and again, this is just my opinion, maybe before we try to recruit a whole bunch of businesses or any businesses, maybe we ought to try to figure out how Oneida County could actually be competitive with Vilas County when it comes to running a business.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself, that would be productive. Because there's a reason why there's the rate of growth in Vilas County compared to Oneida County. It's just different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a different climate. And I'm not telling you that it's better or that it's worse. I mean, figure it out for yourself.
It's easier for sure.
Okay. But I mean, so there's a lot of offshoots. I mean, when you say economic development, it doesn't have to be broadband, or it doesn't have to be how many businesses are in the sanitary district. I mean, it's a huge spectrum of a lot of things.
Very big.
That's kind of my 2 cents worth on it,
And that reminded me of an additional thought I had in the beginning, Jeff. You'd mentioned being focused, and I guess a couple of things. I don't feel we need to make a yes or no decision on this tonight. That's just me. I think it's good to initiate the discussion. It's maybe ponder on it a little more. Lost my train of thought.
Still pondering.
Still pondering. But you had mentioned being focused, and I agree wholeheartedly. Like, maybe that's where a committee would be more productive if we had a specific thing, whether it's a new skyscraper or a new hotel or a new daycare or a new broadband, just a topic
Yeah.
to really
Right.
think more specifically about. Maybe that's where a committee could come into play. I don't think there's a right or wrong to this discussion, Roger.
No, I don't think so either. I'll go back to, and you're right, we don't have to make a decision on it tonight. Matter of fact, I'd prefer that we not, because as I mentioned, and as Ed said, the Plan Commission has a hard time getting a quorum. They have an opening on the commission. So to task them to create an ad hoc committee from that commission that's not even full, I think at this time is
Counterproductive.
pointless. So I would say we, bring it back at another time, hopefully after the Plan Commission has filled their vacancy.
Well, and then if you go back to the past, for example,
Mhm.
for the better or for the worse, the vision was in the past to rebrand the community and have new road signs and have new welcoming signs and stuff like that. And that's fine. That was the vision at the time. But, and I know this is just an agenda topic, but when it says that the committee disbanded in 2013, we don't want to bring back that committee that had that vision. Because we're beyond that. We have new
Right.
road signs. We have kind of rebranded the community in that light.
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's time to move on and do other things.
Mhm.
But I think we should remain like an open book at all times where we consider all possibilities. If somebody has a great idea, let's roll with it. But right now, I don't have a great idea or a specific task that I think that we need to put a group on. That's my own opinion. And I'm not trying to slow down or speed up anything. I'm just saying from my perspective. The face of doing business is a lot different than it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 25 years ago. Just because somebody drives through the downtown and sees some empty spaces or some empty buildings doesn't mean that there isn't a whole lot of business beyond comprehension going on inside the walls of homes.
Mhm.
There's a whole lot more going on than what most people know, but you don't see it. Would it be nice to spruce up the downtown and see some things? Of course. But I just personally don't see that the local government, government at any level is going to do that.
No, I think that the private citizens that own a lot of that land, at least in a couple situations I can think of, an economic development committee isn't going to push those people to either open businesses or renovate or do anything there. I mean, it's not really
It's private sector.
it is, yeah. And
Well, and also this is such a big revolving door. Because, for instance, I could use some really good employees. I think a lot of businesses could. So that could be considered part of economic development, recruiting
Yeah.
some people. But then you're gonna discover that housing is a problem, and it goes on and on and on.
it's a snowball.
And we have to be realistic with, well, what can we do?
Right.
We can't lower the cost of housing. We can't
Mhm.
provide real affordable housing.
Yeah.
That everyone who wants to live here can afford and make a living on. We just have to be reasonable.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be too long-winded about it more than I already have, but it's tough, man. It's tough to live up north. It always has been. And I don't think it's ever been harder than now.
Mhm.
Well, like we've all agreed, or most of us have voiced that we don't have to make that decision
Mhm.
tonight. So am I safe to say we're in agreement that we would revisit this potentially down the road?
Sure.
Yeah.
So you got a motion to
So-
table?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table,
So,
at least until the plan commission fills their, has a full roster. Second Cottingham?
So just to continue discussion, now that we got a motion, I was out for the November 18th meeting, as you know. I did review the meeting though, and this topic got brought up, and I think it's good that we're talking about it this evening. But the agenda was posted yesterday, and that's fine. I'm not complaining, but I just, I want more time to just stew on this. And I think it's a reasonable thing to stew on, so.
And I
say we
like
just-
what Jeff said about, if a really good idea came to the table that was focused and, actually had a goal,
Yes,
Well,
I'd be all for it.
I appreciate you saying that because I'll give you a quick example. There was a local business person who wanted to expand their business. They wanted to build an additional facility that offered some additional things. And they came to us and asked us if we would be supportive of doing a block grant to help them out. And they did all the work. And of course we helped.
Mm-hmm.
We're always here to help. But we didn't lead the charge.
Yeah.
We didn't recruit him into the community. And we didn't, we just were here to help in however we could.
And
You
we
know?
still are.
Absolutely.
Right.
but I do think of some examples where I don't think anyone in the town does this intentionally, but I do think there's some examples out there, and I won't name them off right now, where we could do a heck of a lot more, or at least discuss as a board if we want to do more or not, and handle those as they come. Maybe that's where a committee, if we don't think we're the right folks as a board, maybe that's where a committee, again, if they're tasked with hey, here's a specific idea, or here's something that was pitched. How do you think the town of Three Lakes could incorporate this? Is it something we should help with? Is it something that the town or the sanitary district or whoever can do more than what they're currently doing? And if so, what would be the impact? Again, but I'm tasking with a specific vision or a specific
Mhm.
thought. So like a refined approach, because I know we're going in circles and I apologize, but I've sat through dozens and dozens of economic development committee economic development discussions at the plan commission level. And I'm not saying it's all bad, but it'll go on for dozens of hours. And at the end of the night,
You've just been in a big circle.
yeah, you didn't really accomplish anything.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table, at least until Plan Commission fills their vacancy, and then discuss with Plan Commission, I guess, would be the next. That wasn't part of the motion, but that would be the next logical step. So all in favor of tabling, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Discuss Veterans Memorial Committee request for funds. Get before you the letter.
So do we need a motion on it before we can talk about it?
Yeah,
Okay. I will make a motion that we approve or go forward with the Veterans Memorial Committee's request for funds, borrowing from a temporary allocation from the blacktopping and crack seal. That's my motion.
I'll second your motion for conversation purposes.
motion and a second. Motion Baltus, second Bowman.
I love this project. I have from the very beginning. I think a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into it. And when I saw this come through, I felt like it was an excellent compromise of the town helping, but not necessarily burdening the taxpayers that didn't ask for it, because the memorial's still going to fundraise and pay it back. And it's just basically like a little loop around. And I think it's a really great compromise in my opinion.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Sue, that these funds are needed to order the materials,
Yeah,
correct?
Tom, in order for us, we need 171,665.25, which is 75% of the project down. And we have like 157,290. Our fundraising for 2025 was down probably 50, 60 grand from the year before.
Mhm.
Fly Me Flags is tentative yet, so I've got that earmarked.
Mhm.
We're $22,000 short from Tomahawk, and he needs that commitment to go to order the granite.
Right.
So I left the Fly Me Flags in there just in case. If Fly Me Flags doesn't do the polls, and I'm going to roll that 47 into next year's, we're going to continue to fundraise, pay the 62 back, plus we're still going to have 25% that we're going to owe Tomahawk. But yes, in order for them to get the granite and all of that going.
Get it
we've
ordered
got
so
to go. Yeah.
when it's ready again. Okay.
Correct.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. So we have a motion and a second to proceed with the loan, reallocation of funds
Yeah.
loaned to Veterans Memorial Committee. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Discuss borrowing and authorizing Treasurer Kowalski to seek rates.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Treasurer Kowalski to seek rates.
Second.
I was gonna say,
And then since I made the motion, I would say, I guess I wanted it to be known that I'm not super excited about borrowing money at high interest rates, but we're never going to know what the rates are or what we may or may not be faced with if we don't have our treasurer investigate
right,
where we're at and what our options may or may not be.
And part of that, we would also need to discuss what we're borrowing for.
Mhm.
So we would like to include in that motion the loader, the police squads, and the refurbishing of the fire engine. There should be something specific that we're looking at borrowing for.
Does that, just a stupid question, does that, what we're borrowing it for, have any effect on what the interest rate may be?
As long as it's not infrastructure.
Okay.
So if it's equipment, because it's a shorter term, the
Mhm.
rates are better. If it's infrastructure, it's a longer term, the rates are higher.
Okay.
I've been watching the rates. I mean, they've kind of just been sitting
Yeah.
there, hanging out, not really moving a lot.
And then would you also compare a regular loan to municipal leasing?
Yes, the
Okay.
last time we checked municipal leasing to a regular loan, I could get better than the leasing.
Okay,
And
Um,
but at least a comparison so we know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and I would send it out to different banks.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's amazing what'll happen. You know, right now, you know, you're looking at a 2 to a 5-year loan.
Mhm.
You know, the rates are between 3.5 and 4, you know, roughly, just from what I can tell off
Right.
the treasury rates, what they would be. That's just me.
So in specific, Sue, you said them, but can you mind repeating?
Yeah,
what-
and the
in
reason why-
specific what items
Yep,
are
and the
we
reason
thinking
we
of?
need those items
I
is
agree.
because they need to get a hold of the contractors to start the process. So we're
Mhm.
looking at the loader.
Yep.
So that Josh can make contact with the vendor.
Yep.
We are looking at the police squads so that Scott can make contact with the vendor, as well as refurbishing the fire engine, I believe is a 2-year. Once you commit, it's a 2-year out. So,
Is that correct, John? 2 years?
They told us once we sign the contract, it's 9 to 12 months.
okay, sorry.
The way the world's going.
And you made the motion?
Yeah, I do. I would be willing to amend it, but I want to make sure we have the complete list.
Tonight, we're asking for the loader,
Mhm.
the police squads, and refurbishing the fire truck.
Okay,
I will have back in front of you guys other things in 2 weeks
Mhm.
about building the capital back with other items
Oh, if I may, how many squads?
too.
That's what I thought.
Well, I, for one, would not vote for any loans. The people said no to our request for $500,000 on a levy increase. To me, this is an end run. We're already spending $700,000 on principal and interest that would have covered the levy increase. And any additional cost for principal and interest subtracts from our ability to run the town. And it's like we've maxed out our credit card and we're just going to go get another credit card. And I cannot support more borrowing at this particular time. To me, it's unacceptable. The people said no. We ought to work around it and figure out how we're going to run the town without borrowing more money.
I don't totally disagree, but I don't think there's any harm in Lene just presenting us with the options.
Well, they
and
can
then we-
present whatever they want. I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
I will not support,
Okay, so that's
Understood.
fine. We can call for the
Yep.
vote.
period. And the people ought to not support it either, because they voted, no, we can't raise the levy limit.
Well,
And
they
it's a-
voted against
it's
the
an end run.
$500,000.
They voted against the
Not
500,000
Yeah.
a principal and interest payment that could be 60 grand.
that falls,
And we
that we
have-
could put within our existing levy.
Mhm.
Chris,
Correct.
we, next year, we'll have loans coming off. We never put the town shop loan, principal and interest payment of 90,000 back on. That's been off for 3 years. This payment is not next year. This payment
It's
won't
27.
happen until 2027. You know, and we have 2 loans coming off in 2026.
Your
So,
tax bills just went out. Town of Three Lakes is down 3% on your tax bill. So,
Can the town legally buy a Powerball ticket?
no, but you could donate.
Mhm.
but going back to the loan. The loan that we took out was for was it 1.5?
3 of them.
Yeah, 3 loans for 1.5% interest. And it must have been a pretty good idea because the former Oneida County Board Chairman came and asked us to write a letter to the Oneida County Board recommending that they do the same thing because they didn't have the vision on their own to do that. And so we put together the letter because they were falling behind at a faster rate than they could tread water just like we were once with our infrastructure. So although I agree with a lot of things you're saying as far as I don't like the idea of a loan or being in debt, sometimes it just totally makes sense to do that.
Okay, well, to you it makes sense. To me, it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay, but we do have a motion and a second to authorize the treasurer to seek rates. Did you amend your motion?
I did not,
Okay.
because I didn't know if you wanted to vote for the motion I made or you just want me to amend it.
I would like you to amend it because the motion was incomplete.
Right. I would amend my motion that we authorize Deputy Clerk and Treasurer Kowalski to investigate the interest rates on loans, potentially for the loader, the 2 police cars, and the fire engine refurbish, and report back to us. If that makes sense.
Second, Voltis.
Okay.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
4-1.
Can I clarify something with you, Jeff? I
Yeah.
just want to make sure, because you said report back to us with the rates. These gentlemen are going to be contacting these vendors. Do they have the ability to contact the vendors to pursue, to order this, the squad, the loader?
Well, we don't know right now what the rates are.
But we won't be borrowing until May or June so the loader, is because what's gonna happen for specifically the loader is the tariffs. The loader price could go up $20,000 to $30,000 because of tariffs.
Mhm.
We are getting notified when the tariffs will take effect. So it could be January 1st, it could be February 1st. Once the loader is ordered, say January 1st, it'll take 3 to 4 months to get.
Mhm.
Then they will sit on it for another 2 to 3 months. We may not be borrowing until August of June, July, August of next year, because he doesn't need money to do that, which in turn, that's less interest because our first payment will be February of 2027. So, and I think the squads kind of work the same way. The squads will take 4 months. So, I mean, I can seek rates now and I will continue to seek rates, but I'm not going to borrow. I don't want to borrow in December if we're not going to need that money until June.
So my motion would still be good then.
Right, as
Yes.
long as you're comfortable,
Mhm.
when you say bring the rates back, but they can pursue the vendor.
They can
Well, they
pursue.
can pursue the
Right.
vendor, right? But if all of a sudden the interest rates goes up, we haven't agreed to anything.
By them calling the vendor, we're agreeing.
But I don't, Sue, I'm not saying you're wrong, I just don't quite understand.
When he calls the vendor to say, I'd like to pursue the loader, they're putting that on the production line to be ready in a year or 9 months.
But they should be able to say, that's fine, telling Mr. Paytel. And then he should be able to say, but I need to know exactly what it's gonna cost. And then they should be able to answer that. And then we can say, whoa, no. I mean, you're still,
No,
I
that's,
don't wanna sound like
we
a
know what it's
know-it-all.
gonna cost, but we
I
don't know if you're
I
gonna
what
borrow
it's
the
gonna
money.
Cost today. They have, so CAT has been eating the tariff cost at this point. They know it at January 1, they're gonna implement, CAT's not gonna eat that anymore. There's gonna be, if they don't know the percentage, they just have a guesstimate. Said, well, I don't have authorization, but if I have authorization, then we're locked in at that number. I know what the number is today, but I don't know what the number
Well,
is in 4
So
months.
that makes a
don't wanna
little
give
more sense where you're
authorization.
coming from. And just not,
But it's 4 months out and they said they would sit on it for 2 months. Like after they get the unit in, they will sit on it for 2 months. We have basically a 6-month window. And I get what Lene is saying, if she shops rates tomorrow, she doesn't know what they're gonna be in 5 months when we actually.
Need the money, right?
Well, if I see that they're going up, I might be like, okay, we should probably
Mhm.
get this. Although
Which is something you would bring
of
to
Right.
us.
something I would be like,
And
okay,
if you
right
don't
now
like
we're
the
at
rate,
3.5.
no, right.
We don't wanna be, now we're stuck with a loader that's being.
so within the realm of the agenda, and you're gonna punch me, I can feel it coming already. And I'm a little bit familiar with the equipment, but I'm not a loader expert. Have we considered or asked, is a 1,500 hours loader available that avoids the tariff
You
conundrum?
lose the municipal discount because it's not new.
But have we
Is it
weighed
a
that
horse
option
apiece?
is all I'm
If it's-
asking.
Yes.
Is it even? Is it almost a horse apiece? I mean, what's the municipal
No, it's
discount?
actually cheaper to get the new one than to get the used one with $500. We asked how much was the one that we demoed that had $500. It was more.
When you contact Cat or whoever you said it was for the loader, so from there on, we can't back out of the loader? Like there's no,
If we place the order, well, I guess I don't know if we can't back out of it, but I would assume if we place the order, we sign on the dotted line, we're buying the order.
because like I know with for example, I'm familiar with the septic truck industry and everything's in such high demand places that if I place an order for a septic truck and it,
Sell it.
yeah, and
Someone
it
will
shows
buy it.
up and I'm like, oh, I don't want it. I'm under no obligation and it's fine.
That I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was confused.
Yeah.
because-
Well, that's what I was trying to determine is like, I got the impression that they needed to get authorization.
Mhm.
But if you didn't like the rate, we've already got authorization to proceed and
Well, just because we
Well,
don't
I-
like the rate now doesn't mean it won't get
Right, I
better in
just
the
wanna-
future. We're just,
Correct.
so I'll go back to the way I'm looking at it is counter to Ed. When Ed said the electors said no to the increase, and so we're maxing out the credit cards. Well, the levy increase would have allowed us to order these things and use a lot more cash. So we don't have any cash. So now we have to put it on the credit card if we're going to get these items that we need. Is the way I'm looking at it. And we're just waiting for the credit card rates to come down, as it were.
I mean, you already called the motion. I was
Mhm.
just clarifying when you
Mhm.
said secret
Well,
rates. If
right,
you didn't
I'm
like
thinking
it,
the same thing.
you know,
Well-
they've made the commitment
Right,
to.
but I guess when I read the agenda topic, it says discuss borrowing, and we did
Mhm.
kind of go down the line and
Borrowing
talk
for what?
about how we felt about that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then authorize Treasurer Kowalski to seek rates. So
Right.
I didn't realize we were committing to anything.
Yeah, I was under the same impression as Jeff.
I don't think we're ready to truly commit to anything. Like, I respect where Josh is, I respect the timeline, but like, holy buckets.
Oh, well, hold on
Okay.
a second. So Josh, if this gets back on the agenda for the 16th, we know those tariffs aren't happening tomorrow.
Right.
We know that it's possibly January 1st. So you could order
We
the
said at the
loader.
very latest January 1st.
Correct.
It could be before then, he hasn't been told.
Okay, so we could take our chances. I could look at rates, see what they are, not full-fledged commit to anything, but say they're 3.5%. They then can approve you ordering the loader on the 16th, and we're probably okay with the tariff rate.
When I talked with him 2 weeks ago, I checked on the municipal leasing end of it, and it was at $499. So already your rates are better than the municipal lease was.
And that's fine.
Yep.
We just
We're
are
just
just
talking about the
saying,
tariff.
whatever.
If it comes
we-
back in
yeah,
2 weeks.
Whatever you're going with, we gotta, he's
So
getting authorization.
based on that, the answer to your question is I'm comfortable with my motion.
Yep.
And my intent, to be clear with my motion, was we're authorizing her to
Yep.
seek rates, but we're not committing to anything today.
Okay, so no, on none of the other stuff, none of the
If we get
vendors.
some earth-shattering deal we're gonna find out magically that they're gonna go up in 2 days or 3 days, our chairman can decide we could call a special.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Further discuss that
Mhm.
if it was necessary.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's fine. I'm comfortable with
So
You
we're
that.
mean the tariffs, if the tariffs.
Tariffs or
Whatever
rates
it
or
may be.
anything.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
So we'll bring it back on the 16th.
Okay, item E, discuss and amend the clinic lease. You have it before you. I believe when this was approved, and I don't know, this was the lease that was signed, but I believe there's a typo in it because we'd approved a 2-year lease. So I believe it renews, shall end midnight of 2025. It's written 2023. Either way, we want to change the verbiage to automatically renew for the clinic.
Mhm.
No other verbiage stays the same, or no other verbiage
I want you to
changes.
take it with you and see if you guys catch anything else down the road. I've glanced through this a couple of times, but it seems like every time I do, I find something new. So,
you're
another
gonna
pair of
bring it
eyes.
back later on? Sue?
Yeah, well, I'd like to do this. Do the
I'll make
automatic
I'll make
renewal.
the motion to change the term in 1.3 term and commencement date to strike at midnight, 12/31, and make it automatically renew.
Okay. I'll second your motion.
Okay, discussion.
I guess if you're just trying to make it prim and proper, this document before us, there's some dates that would need to be altered on the very first sentence, just to bring it up in the current standard. I'm pointing that out.
Well,
Admittedly, I breezed through it. I remember going through this before. I did not read it word by word, line by line in full detail. But if you want us to spend more time reviewing it, we
Well, I
certainly
mean,
can.
you can take it and take a peek at it if you see anything. If not,
Was there anything you guys were worried about? This is the only
No, this is-
highlighted item.
correct.
That's the only.
And it was
item.
first entered into in February of 23, so I don't know that I would change that. I can put amended.
Maybe I was the deadline. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're right then. It's
Yep.
ended. I'm sorry.
No, no worries.
All right. Any more discussion?
I guess where I'm going with that is realistically, are we good with it?
Yeah.
We just seal the deal and move on.
So we have a motion and a second to change the verbiage to automatically renew. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Licenses and permits.
Yeah, we have one. It's Myra Funk. It's for 2 years for Sorella. This is a new applicant. She has paid her fees. I've done background and we're comfortable certifying that she meets state statute and our local ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve the operator's license as certified by Clerk Harris.
Motion Boltus,
Second.
second Wolkowski. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Election poll workers,
Yeah, every odd year I have to have a list of
Mhm.
poll workers in front of you.
Jan Harris, Lenny Kowalski, Heidi Spilkester, Larry Roth, Kelly Strauss, Bonnie Zinkowitz.
I'll make a motion to accept the presented list of election poll workers as before us.
Second.
Motion Wolkowski, second Boltus.
Winging it out now.
Discussion.
Well, they do a hell of a job.
Yeah, they do a great job. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Cy Williams, Maple Lake Redevelopment Committee Ad Hoc Subcommittee of Park Commission. So you have, I made a motion to, at the last meeting, to not move forward since we didn't have the levy increase, and I believed we wouldn't have the funds to do a lot with this. It was brought to my attention by a couple members, prospective members of the subcommittee, that they would like to continue working because they were going to try and obtain funds from outside of the town. Since then, 2 other names have come up. Rich Javankowski has said he is interested, and Don Meter is interested in the subcommittee as representing the Plan Commission. We want a 7-member Plan Commission. I think if you go, first of all, you need an odd number. Second of all, if you go too big, we kind of run into what Matt was saying earlier. You just go round and round in circles and don't get anything accomplished. So if we were to go that way, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would limit 1 member from, and I think we only need 1 member from the parks, Jason. You have 3 on the list. Do you know who would be, I guess, as the Park Commission chairman, who would be your choice? Or do you know, are they all as committed as, okay?
So just to make sure I'm understanding you right, Roger, are you saying that we believe there's a group of people that is interested in tackling this?
Yes,
An
which is some
adequate group of people,
that are passionate about it.
and if things work out, there's a chance they might be able to make progress.
Correct.
So that's okay. So
Mhm.
like case in point, personally have no problem with that. That's better, that kind of contradicts my point earlier, but you got the people, you got a vision. We have nothing to lose
Correct.
offhand,
Correct. So
Right,
this
that's not-
this started at the last meeting that.
I know.
Yeah.
but I
Oh, yeah,
watch-
you did watch it. Okay.
I follow
But
along.
we are down a
I'm
member of the
watching
park commission.
Right. And we are down a member on the park commission. So,
Are you guys gonna pick from the 9 that are here? Do you want me to open it up to something in the paper and put plan commission, park commission out there, all of them out there? Or do you want to just pick from this group?
Well,
Well,
Where's the night?
before we form a committee,
You got 7 up
Don't we
here,
wanna
Rich would be 8, and then Don.
know
Meter.
what we're
At Don Meter.
gonna do?
Yeah.
Or is this helter skelter? Someone's gonna make a decision. Who on the town board is gonna be part of this
Sue
to keep,
is going to be the one to report back to the board, the actions of the committee. The committee this is mainly the Maple Lake bathhouse.
mhm.
just the bathhouse?
Well, it's a start with the bathhouse because that's the biggest problem. And it's going to happen in phases. I mean, some of the people on the committee already have a vision for what they'd like.
But doesn't the town board dictate after they hear what their plans are?
Yeah,
Yeah,
To
it's an ad hoc committee to report to us.
They
But
have
that's
no
not what it
authority.
sounds like. It sounds like we're gonna form a committee and they're gonna go off and do whatever.
I personally, I didn't take it that way at all.
No.
I just took it,
That's,
I took it as a group of individuals that were taking it upon themselves to try to solve the problem.
My understanding is we'll report to the park commission will report to the town board. Yeah.
and in the end, we have the final say.
and then
Correct.
we have final say.
Yes.
Sure.
So I think where I'm sitting on this is that it's really, I know that I know the history of this, but the park commission, who we trust on a daily basis to make decisions within the parks, what they're saying is that aside from the fact that it should consist of 7 members, they would like 3 of those 7 members to come from their commission. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, and when the park commission was tasked, late October with this. Park commission had our November meeting, and at that time, there were 3 names that were provided. If I'm.
Yep.
Please correct me if I'm.
No,
wrong.
yep,
Sue and Kevin and
yep,
Anita.
Anita.
Okay, and there was.
And someone from Lions.
And a member of Lions, which is now Nancy.
You're right.
Yep.
And when I took that to the park commission, everything that accepted that were wide open to that. With the caveat, just they wanted 3 members, and as you said, we need an odd number, so 3 members. And to go back to what Matt was saying before, in this case, I think we have a good, call it a problem if you want to, that we've got 3 hard chargers from the park commission that want to be on there.
Yeah, and that's
As well as everyone else, so.
how I'm looking at it. You got a lot of
So it would be a
positives lined
9-member
up, and we got
committee.
Nothing to lose. Why not?
So it would be a 9-member committee
Well,
you
that's
took
if
these-
you
If you
accepted
took-
everyone
if
who
you
came forward.
accepted everyone that came forward.
Right. I think at the very least, we should allow them to have their 3 members on the board. Or not on the board, but on the
On the
committee.
committee.
Yep. And Anita and Kevin were already kind of sort of in the loop. Um,
And Lions.
And I'm not opposed to anyone else or anything like that. But I mean, and I agree with what Anita said at the last meeting, when it's kind of hard for them to go to different individuals trying to solicit some funding, outside funding that isn't taxpayer related.
Right.
If they don't have a vision to share, or they don't have some ideas to share. So I mean, I think at the very least, we need to stick with that group,
Right.
And there's no commitment or obligation on our end.
So it'd be the original 7 that we had talked about 2 weeks ago. Be 3 from Parks, Sue, Anita, Kevin, and the Lions representative at that time was Nancy.
Sure. And I mean, if the Lions want to have a different representative or they want to stay with Nancy, that's fine. I don't have any problem with any.
Yeah, I
of it.
believe that was, the Lions chose you, correct, Nancy? I said, I believe you were the representative chosen by the Lions.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
So my only final question is, a moment ago, I heard the number 9 being tossed around.
Well, because two other names came up. Don Meter expressed interest from the Plan Commission, and Rich Javankowski expressed interest. But I'm fine if you want to start the committee with the 7, and if Don and Rich have ideas, they could convey them to the 7 members.
Absolutely.
Like you said, everybody's got ideas and we'll listen.
Yep.
So. Then I will make a motion that
Call off the names.
Kay Coates, Scott LeBouy, Junior Stebbins, Sue Harris, Anita Kendall, Kevin Meyer, and Nancy Oman. Those 7 people would make up the Cy Williams Maple Lake Redevelopment Ad Hoc Subcommittee of the Park Commission.
I'll second your motion.
Second Olkowski. Discussion.
I think it's great that a group of individuals, whether they're already on a committee or not, are willing to grab the bull by the horns and try to make a positive difference for the community as to what our options may or may not be down there.
Yeah, like we talked about, these are people that are interested in doing this, so.
So thank you.
Yeah. And thank you, Anita, for speaking up at the last meeting and mentioning that you think it should still continue. I wasn't thinking about it in that way when we,
Nor was I.
Yeah.
So we both agreed after. So, all right, we have a motion and a second. I believe we have a second, right?
Yes.
Okay. Olkowski. All in favor, please say aye.
I,
5-0. Town Building Inspector Rick Clem, RC Inspections. Fee schedule stayed the same.
These are those annual appointments.
Annual appointment, and under this, please note the assessor was appointed for a 2-year in 2025 and 2026 Bomar appraisals. So I'll make a motion that we reappoint Rick Clem as the inspector for the year 2026. Second
that
counting. Yes, second
Yes.
counting him.
Thank you.
Has anybody heard any comments about this guy?
I haven't heard any bad.
Well,
He went at it, there was a couple little things this year with him and on Josh Pike's project, and he's trying to get it together. He's been improving, but there was a couple little things, but it I think it's the fact there's not a lot of
He also
inspectors
changed,
in the game
yeah.
either, and he's all over the place.
he also changed one of his commercial inspectors.
Yeah, he also fired somebody too, so.
but we haven't had nearly the amount of
No.
issues that we had with the
No.
previous.
No,
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 Right,
no, not since Robbie, no.
right.
I know when I built my house, it was the first year of an inspector,
That was North Winds.
and he let the builder do a lot of crap that I had to
That was
fix.
Darren Pagel, I think.
Ran
North
roughshod
Winds
over him.
inspectors.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to reappoint Rick Clem for the year 2026. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Let's pay some bills. Do we have any money to pay bills?
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. All right, we had the biweekly payrolls in the amount of $67,914.46. The electronic payment of payroll taxes was $18,585.73. The electronic payment of retirement was $21,085.52. Accounts payable checks 58543 through 58601 were used to pay expenses in the amount of $198,872.61. Electronic payment of the employer portion of employee benefits was $1,217.92.
For a total of $307,676.24.
Motion to pay the bills as presented.
Motion Cottingham,
Second.
second Bohm. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Bills are paid. Public comments. I always start over here, so, oh, go ahead. No, you raised your hand first, chief. Go ahead.
He was used to it.
This, again, we'll be doing the snowmobile ATV safety course on the 20th and 21st, here at the town hall.
Thank
You can register on the whole.
Thank you. Josh?
As you know, we're into plow season now. We've seen an increased amount of people putting driveway markers off the town road edge in the town road right away. Please don't call us if they get hit, because they typically do get hit.
Scott, anything? Kevin?
Yeah, so one, thanks for the vote on the parks review, I really appreciate that. The other thing though, on economic development, that I want to think about, Jeff, I actually think you touched on something really good about the difference between Oneida and Vilas County. And I think one of the things that we need to be thinking about, I think part of economic development is with the planning commission be looking at that. I don't even know that I would create a subcommittee, make that part of the charter of the planning commission, if we should fill that spot. But the other side of it is you have to look at, it's not always about recruiting businesses, but when you do have businesses that want to come to town, what kind of incentives can we give them for a short-term period or whatever? How do we make it that there's some incentive for the town to commit to them if they're gonna commit capital to this community as well? And I think we need to look at some form of incentive structure. I know, and I'm learning more about municipalities and townships versus cities and TIFs and all that other good stuff, but I think we have to look very differently at it. I mean, pretty much everybody in here, we've all been in Three Lakes our whole lives. I can remember when you go downtown and there's cars all over the street after 10 o'clock at night. Now you come through at 8 o'clock and there's no cars. And, we have a lot of homes. We have a lot of people up here. There's a lot of wallet to be shared. You talked about businesses and homes. That's all great when somebody's doing consulting or IT work or whatever remotely. That's fine. That's not economic development. That's their job. So we need to be thinking about continually, when businesses want to come to this community, how do we get them here? And the businesses that we have, what can we help them do to continue to grow? I know there's some grants sometimes around facade work and things like that, but how do we continue to make what we have grow and what we want to see come in, or people that want to come in, how do we help them grow as well, or commit to this community? I think the community has to commit to that as well.
Thank you. Anita, anything?
Just to piggyback on what Kevin said, thank you for voting us in for the part. And economic development can mean a lot of things, like Jeff said, but at the same time, if we don't do anything, we're just standing still. And you don't really stand still, you either move forward or you move backwards. And if we do nothing, that's the same thing as moving backwards. So to have some people, maybe it's just 2 or 3 people that have a passion, that are willing to at least research it and find out how do we support people who do want to come and start businesses. There's a very likely possibility that there's going to be opportunities for people. Well, how can we make it possible? If somebody was eager, they could go out to a university and start recruiting people to bring their businesses here. That would be an economic development. And what does it cost? Maybe nothing. It's just a thought.
Okay. Nancy,
Nothing.
anything? Mark?
Again, thank you for the.
Oh.
For that.
Yep, Mark.
I'm just curious how the economic subject got on the agenda, because there's, with all due respect, there's just a tremendous weight on the board as a collective about economic development. With all due respect, and so I'm trying to figure out how it got on the agenda and how it got swept away so quickly, because there's a huge infrastructure of economic development, and there's a lot of enthusiasm for it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's none from the board. At least I didn't hear any. Maybe there is, but I didn't hear anybody express enthusiasm for seeing Three Lakes flourish, which could actually quite easily happen if we were organized. And we can be organized even in the absence of one person on the plan commission. It can still happen. All of the work that needs to be done can actually be done outside of the plan commission and brought to the plan commission. But there needs to be some kind of enthusiasm on the part of the town, just to yes, we would love to do this, please show us the way, because there are people ready to show you the way, but it's like, there has to be some interest.
Well, I think, speaking for myself,
It's public comments.
okay,
We're not supposed to comment
you're right,
back.
okay,
Public comments.
So that was
Okay.
my comment.
all right,
There you go.
So you need a
The
stick.
comment
Yep,
is-
no,
Yep.
we're not talking back.
yep, okay,
The comment is that there was a tremendous amount of enthusiasm outside of the board for economic development in Three Lakes. And somehow the board just needs to say, we'd love to hear from you.
Jason,
I'm good, thank you.
John,
Well, good.
Leah?
Just kind of piggybacking on this, I don't know, I think like whatever, economic development was this big umbrella, and it can mean many things to many different people, and I think about downtown, and I think that's what people see, so I think that's a big part of it, and then the next step, is about housing, that's the next thing. And they have a big wheel which comes first. But when I've noticed, like driving downtown in the summer, and there's like people that came, like there's like a family, backpacks on, like they're ready to shop Three Lakes. And they're like looking in windows of empty buildings. There's not much, like people come to Three Lakes, we get them here, and then there's not that much for them to do downtown. And I understand it's private property rights, people own the buildings, people own the properties, they can do what they want with them. But is there something that the town can do to encourage or incentivize new businesses coming? So that's interesting. I don't know, it just seems like who sounds like there's people interested in investigating what's stopping new business. Like, why are these buildings empty? Why is there no housing? Why is no one developing properties that could be developed for housing? Like, why is everything stagnant? And it seems like there's people interested in looking into that. So can that just be something a group of people do completely independent of the town and then come back to the town and go, look what we found, will you hear us? Does it have to be like blessed by the town for people to start talking and investigating and? No. There's definitely a need, I think, for something to be stirred up in town. And it seems like there's people that maybe have different ideas, but just talking to people around town, I think there's people that have an interest in seeing what can be done, what the possibilities are for here.
Thank you. Tyler? Anything? Jackie?
First, thanks to everybody who helped with Festival of Lights on Friday, the 30th annual poll, but everybody had a great time, and roads were great for the horses. I know that's annoying, I'm sorry, and everyone had a great time. So thank you to all of the people that came together to help make that happen. And then just to add to the economic development conversation, if anyone's interested to talk more about this, not at a municipal level, this is what we are doing out of our office almost every day, so come to the Bridge Bureau and we can talk about it. We've applied for some state level programs to help with some of this stuff. There is a point, and we've talked about this, where we run into that municipal incentive wall, right? And that is where the town would come in. Because there's a lot that can be done just by a group of people, but incentives generally are at a municipal level. So continuing that conversation, I think, will be very valuable, both inside the government structure and outside of it. So.
Thank you.
Citizen comment?
Sure.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
And I mean it, as a citizen, who also sits on the board, but as a citizen, no different than you guys, if I read this agenda, the reason I shared what I did about my thoughts on possibly an economic development committee is because I fear that in our town, if I opened up the newspaper on Wednesday and saw the town was seeking a 7 or a 9 person or however many committee, I'm not so convinced we would have enough candidates to create that committee. I might be wrong, but that is my fear as a citizen. So I'm sorry if that put an impression that there's a big void in the boards. I don't think that's the case, but I respect where that perception comes from. As a citizen, if I saw what I saw tonight, that the park commission presented, that, man, we already got a group, there's 7 or 8 or 9 of us, and boom, 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 boom. That's energy right there. And if that energy was presented, I would probably have a much different view. So I guess all I'm trying to say without getting too long is we can all complain, or if we don't want to complain and got something legitimate to offer, speak up. Come to the town, come to Jackie, come to whoever, like say something, don't complain. But if you got something to offer, hey, I got experience in this and this, and I know some of that goes on already, but like, come on, guys, if we really want to do something, do something. I think we all want to do something, but the reality is it's not that all that easy for any of us. We're all busy people. We got jobs and stuff, but we all want good. So just food for thought. That's all.
I have a really quick citizen comment here.
Okay.
I was just going to say that this is like exactly what I meant by people that were passionate. And that's what would make me think that it's a good idea to form a committee. That being said, Jackie is fantastic, and this is her main focus. And I was supposed to be involved a little bit, and I had some major life changes off topic, but she is great. And if this is as deep of interest as it sounds like, I would highly recommend starting with Jackie. And that's how we get the ball rolling on an actual committee, because Jackie's fantastic and she loves the town of Three Lakes, and no one wants to see it more economically developed than her. So
before either one of you even spoke up, I was going to say something because I wanted to share something. My late father had a dream in this town. His dream was to own his own business. He started our business with $27 to his name, and when he checked out of this world, he probably had about the same $27. But he told me ever since I can ever remember that to be successful in life, you have to see a need and you have to fill a need. Don't just be a talker. Become a doer. And that made a big impression on me in my life, because we don't need a committee or a governing body or whatever to see a need and fill a need. If we had a committee, fantastic. If we have a group of people, that's wonderful. But on our own, every one of us has the potential to make a huge difference every day. And sometimes we don't even know the impact we have on people unless they let us know later on. So see a need, fill a need. I think about it all the time.
You're up, Ed.
Motion to adjourn.
yeah, motion to
Adjourn.
Motion Cottingham,
second.
Baltus, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
6:30.
My biggest fear was that the Kingman at the end of my world.
Well, lucky for you, they're out of